all my people, and if you're watching live, checking us out on YouTube, or listening on your favorite podcast provider, you are most definitely my people. Welcome to another episode of Botched and Chair Shots. We still have high hopes of delivering quality wrestling content, and if not, we'll sprinkle in 100 episodes of nonsense, so we still get over. I'm your host, a chef by trade and a mark by choice. I am the Will Gray, and I'm glad to be here on this journey, and tonight, that journey is Anything Goes, episode 100 style. Joining me tonight is a man who comes with his own disclaimer. He is the Yellow Shoe Guy, and the opinions of him and him alone, not the opinions of the Smack Raw Podcast Network or Botch Bots and Chair Shots. Also joining me tonight is the Beyonce to my Hova, the Bonnie to my Clyde. She is the boss bitch, Miss Alison Siegel. How are you guys this evening?
I'm good.
Fantastic.
And also joining us tonight, we have a few special guests. As I admit them all, joining us to help celebrate episode 100, we have Miss Marie Shadows, we have Ted the Hillbilly Hill from the Hill Truth Podcast, and Mr. BC Hunter from Wrestling with the Truth Podcast. How is everybody?
Good. Give me a second here. Hold on, I can't hear anybody.
I feel like this is that Batista. We're live, pal.
We're live. 100% live TV. I'm just adding people as they come in at this point. This is like a really interesting process because I'm not sure who's actually going to join this whole thing.
You guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Ted, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Excellent. I see BC Hunter's logo, but I don't see BC Hunter yet.
Hey, yeah, sorry about that. I think it's because I'm also on StreamYard at the moment.
Okay.
Can't
Well,
have
BC
that camera
Hunter's
run
here.
on two programs at the same time.
Mr. Kyle Tyson over here joining the program as well.
Interesting.
I wanted to have as many people as I could cram onto one screen to come in and kind of cheers Botch Bots and Chair Shots tonight for episode 100. Everybody in the room coincidentally played major roles in getting to where we are. So a good group of people decided to show up for it. Is there anything tonight? I always start the same episode every time the same way, and I'm going to ask all 7 of us, what has you guys pissed off for greatness this week in the world of professional wrestling?
I'll go first.
I'll start the Von Erich movie, man. Zac Efron looks more like Kerry Von Erich than Kevin Von Erich on set.
He does, yeah.
Jack.
I'm gonna say that I need them to do more with the New Day. Like that kind of is irritating me now. Like they're treating them very mid when they're not.
RN joins the party.
What's up, RN?
Hey, Aaron.
RN, we're at the point of the episode where everybody tells us what has them pissed off for greatness.
I don't think he can hear you.
He can't hear
me
He'll probably hear later.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
My damn, hold on, I'm gotta get my mic plugged up. I don't know what the hell happened.
No, you're good. Anybody else, feel free to chime in.
More Drew
I'm
Gulak.
really...
More Drew Gulak.
More Drew Gulak?
Drew Gulak, all the titles.
Yes.
All the belts.
All the belts.
All the belts on Drew.
Drew Gulak over FTR.
Over FTR. Over Brock Lesnar.
Drew Gulak over Brock Lesnar.
I mean, I miss Drew, so why not, right? Why not? I surprisingly don't have one. I really don't. Which is kind of weird. I usually have something, but I don't have one this time.
What about Austin Theory not taking a open challenge and then coming in afterwards and losing to a secondary title? That was ridiculous.
I mean, I have a theory about why he lost it, pun intended. But I mean, I'm not pissed off about that he lost the Money in the Bank. Many people were like, oh, we want him to dethrone Roman or dethrone this person. Like, it was the obvious. So Triple H was like, nah, man, you're still a Vince guy. You're not my guy. So just drop it.
You're not mad about
the
lack in logic of the story, though? Like the zero logic behind his motivation being out there.
Yeah.
It's
I
also
mean, he
the
was
first
trying
time.
like what every week.
It's also the first time anybody's cashed in for something that wasn't the heavyweight title. That's also something to take into consideration here is why then, why now, why that specific point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it's not like the U.S. belt has the prestige that it used to, like in the NWA or WCW. Like it's at least go for the IC belt.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's when I knew he was going to lose it when he cashed in on the.
Go for the
secondary
NXT
title.
title.
The
Go for
NXT
the
title would
NXT
have been a
belt.
great call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have liked that. I would have liked that.
Excellent. Anybody else?
I got some.
What's up, Ted?
Yeah. I'm tired of Roosh and Tien. I mean, he don't want 10, and I'm just tired of it. Just tired of the whole. I heard another podcast today talking about it. This story is just as long as the Elite and Hangman. You got Hardy family office, Hardy Andrade family office. Now you got then just Andrade family office, and then just Roosh. And I'm tired of all of it. Roosh just needs to be Roosh. He's good. He don't need to be dealing with all this. Maybe hang out with Butcher and the Blade every now and then, but get rid of Matt Hardy, Private Party, quit chasing the Dark Order and 10 and all that. I'm tired of it.
Well, did you know the Blade? I think he's the Blade. I think that's the one that is. He's the lead guitar player for a band called Every Time I Die. They're like a heavy metal band.
Yeah.
Butcher.
Is it?
That-
The
Yeah,
Butcher?
Butcher. The other
Butcher.
one.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember which one. I knew it was one of the two.
Yeah, they actually
you have a 50%
they
chance
called,
you
they
lost.
called it quits. They actually called it quits. But yeah, I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it.
But as long as the bunny keeps coming out, I'm good.
The bunny, of course. We 5 minutes 41 seconds in, and Bobby says something about a blonde.
Yeah.
I
I'm
love
still
Bobby.
trying to send the link out to a few more people. Anybody else have anything that has them pissed off for greatness?
Yeah, I'm sick of AEW and these random heel turns.
That too.
I feel like, yeah.
Is that your dog cheering you? Like,
Yeah, your dog is agreeing
fucking
with
dog
you.
got up on that.
Yeah, it's somebody's knocking at my door. But yeah, it's like what the hell was that with Samoa Joe? Like, and they were like, I mean, I didn't agree that they should have been together anyway. It was kind of like a redundant team, but like just randomly for no reason, like just knocks him out. Like,
What are you talking about? Wardlow put a target on Joe, still standing right next to him. He said, "I'm coming for all the belts." He put a target right on his partner.
But AEW and ROH. So Joe's an ROH champion, and Wardlow is an AEW guy. So the brands are supposed to be separated. So
Right.
I took it as he's going for the AEW belts.
Belts that are on AEW. Going for all belts on AEW.
I actually liked it because most of the time this would have lasted 6 months with Tony Khan's booking, and we would have got tired of it. So I was like, yeah, go ahead. Let's just get it over with.
Let's do it now. Now we got an awesome three-way to
Now.
look forward to.
Yeah, it reminded me of like when Jericho and Styles that they like got together and then all of a sudden they had a T-shirt and they broke up the next week. Like they were
1
together
week
all
with that
3
shirt.
weeks.
Yeah. Y2AJ.
Yeah, like that's exactly what this reminded me of. Like it was such a like we didn't even like get an emotional attachment to this tag team
right.
or this group.
I missed Dynamite
That's my thing,
last
is like-
week, so I didn't even know that they were a tag team until we watched it yesterday.
That's my thing. Like, they didn't even get a chance to get off the ground, and then you get the turn on each other. It's like,
I said that with about the same thing. I said I felt like it was too soon for the turn. I thought it
never
happened
even
too
really
fast.
looked at them like a tag team. I just looked at them like two guys that like linked up because they had some common enemies at the time.
Two big
I
guys
don't
that
know,
like to
they-
slap
they
me.
never struck me as like a tag team. They still struck me as like two individual people.
bro, they had a tag team name. Kyle, relax, bro.
No.
Like, I know you got to take up for AEW. They literally had a tag team name. Like, they were.
It's War Joe.
I really
Stupid
understand,
name.
though, not wanting to be in the tag team division in AEW because they have the best tag team in the world in FTR. FTR.
No.
Give
Allegedly.
FTR all the belts.
Yes.
No.
All the belts.
Allegedly.
Yes. Yes.
Stop it, Will.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Stop it, Will.
The best boring
Yes,
tag team in the
don't-
world. Yeah.
Look, man, I'm still pissed off that they're not in World Tag League and we gotta wait to Wrestle Kingdom to get them there. Like, fuck that shit.
Hey,
Ted.
only one of us in this room is so sure that
What?
FTR is the greatest tag team on the planet that they went and got it tattooed on them. Okay, so
Look at
Seriously?
it. That's why Ted's
yeah.
Ted.
FTR, baby. That's right.
Tell RN and Kyle what you said about me and you and RN and Kai the other night when we were on Wrestling
King
with
of
the Truth.
Kings. That's the only tattoo that matters. The King
That's
of
pretty
Kings.
sick. I didn't even know you had that, bro.
Yeah.
Do you
Y'all
remember?
got I got some more, but you know.
Do you remember the analogy used when we were on Wrestling with the Truth the other night, but about me and you versus RN and Kai?
I said that they might be funny and they might have had more fun on BC show, but they're sports entertainers, baby. Me and
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Hey, number one in the ratings.
Yeah, but we get that key demo, baby. We get that
The
key demo.
epitome of sports entertainment. I'll take that shit.
Oh,
That's
my
right.
God.
All I got to say is 5-star ratings. Just check my 5 stars out.
Just
That's
5
all I got
stars
to say.
all day. Drop them 5-star
That's-
reviews and get them shout outs.
What is it? Ted DeCinco? Is that
Ted
DeCinco?
Yeah.
Number one podcast in Antarctica.
Go.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's right.
I love it.
All right, guys. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Those of you who don't want to stick around for the remainder of the episode are free to go at your leisure. If you want to plug your stuff real quick, tell everybody where you're at, and then bounce. Feel free to do so now.
Yeah, I'm Yellow Sugar Guy. I'll see you guys later.
Of course, Bobby will go. Right?
Is everybody sticking around?
Awkward.
I
Do you
thought
want
that's
to
what you said.
Oh, Kyle bounced. Okay, I wasn't sure. Kyle told me he was leaving. I thought Marie and Ted and RN were going to stick around, but I wasn't sure who would be sticking around the whole time.
I'm
Go ahead.
okay. I'm not doing anything. I'll help you out.
No, absolutely. Perfect episode. I'm going to let Alison take over. It's anything goes, so she's going to take it off with some news and rumors.
See, we already talked about Theory cashing in. That was one of my little headlines. But
Oops, I did it again.
every time, Bobby. Every time. Let's talk about Crown Jewel. Thoughts?
Okay. It was a very, very fun pay-per-view, even though I came in like halfway through. I'm really like excited to see what Logan Paul can do more. Like, he got my respect, but I still don't like the guy. But I do want to see what happens after he recovers. I don't want to see his brother doing anything with like WWE and stuff. But you know, I gotta respect Logan Paul on that. But again, I was watching New Japan, finished that, and then came in to Crown Jewel.
I thought it was all right pay-per-view. I mean, I never give these I never hold any of these in like high esteem because I know this is just like for the fanboys and over there where they're at. So like, I mean, there were the matches were better than I expected, like especially Omos and Braun Strowman, because I definitely can't stand Braun. But I mean, I can't lie that was a legit fucking match. Like it was way better than it had any reason to be.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was better than Lesnar and Lashley. Like for a big match, it really did. Like the entire pay-per-view or whatever it's called now. Like the whole thing was. This was probably the best Crown Jewel that they've put on so far.
I would
Like, the
definitely
matches
agree with
made
that for sure.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, it made more sense than like Goldberg versus the Fiend or any of the other things that they're putting in front of it. Like I thought it was good. I thought it was a good pay-per-view. I think one thing with Logan though is it exposes pro wrestling. Like now where these outsiders come in, they put on better matches than the guys that they're going against. Like compare this to like Mr. T or the guys of old that used to come in, or even like Snooki. Like these new athletes are coming in here and like they're making the wrestlers look bad because they look so good.
Do you
I think the only difference with that is these guys are actual athletes. All those guys you were talking about, and most of those people that they called back in before, they were like actors or on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They weren't actually athletes. Like these dudes are actual athletes. So it's like, I kind of agree with you to a certain extent, but I mean, as long as you're athletic and you can really take to the training and really take it serious, like it's not hard to be at least halfway decent and at least have a decent match. I think he was made to be a wrestler. Like I wanted to hate this dude. I wanted his matches to be shit. Like I wanted to be like normal celebrity matches where a bunch of interference and stuff like the Jackass stuff like that. Like, but and even that was actually good. Johnny Knoxville was even actually good in that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I think these guys are just a little bit different when it comes to athletes and understanding wrestling as a whole. And a lot of these guys are fans, and most people, like when we were growing up, never admitted that they were fans. And now these people are actually like admitting it and saying that, hey, I watch wrestling, I love wrestling, like this is what it is. Wrestling's not really tongue-in-cheek hide behind anymore. Like people are actually saying they enjoy it. So I think that that's the difference between like the celebrities now that they're bringing in and the people that used to come in like when we were growing up.
Right. I think the only thing I would challenge on is like, you know, you had LT, Mongo McMichaels, Rodman, like those were all really great athletes, like Malone as well, but they didn't put on good matches. Like their matches are pretty terrible.
But also too, they were all roided out and cocained out and all types of other stuff. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. I mean, those three athletes that we had in that you named are literally the worst people, some of the worst people in the history of football and basketball. So,
oh, come on, Karl Malone.
Yes, he raped a 13-year-old girl, had a kid with her, and pretended like the kids never existed. He may be the worst out of all of them.
Is this person in jail? Damn.
No, he didn't go to jail because it was statute of limitations, but he literally was in college and had a kid, had twins with a 13-year-old girl. And one of his daughter actually made it to the WNBA and stuff and everything.
This might be the most awkward time ever to get brought into the conversation and introduce my buddy BamaDave joining the conversation now. The most oddly timed point to hop in a conversation ever.
Right.
Bama, how are you tonight? Do you think we're talking about Crown Jewel? Thanks for joining us on episode 100. We're kind of talking about, do we think if Logan Paul exposed pro wrestling with how well he's done over the 3 matches that he's been in it?
That's a really good question. From an entertainment perspective, I'm not shocked at all. This goes back to a big conversation right now. You know, what's more valuable in this business, sports entertainment or the can y'all hear me, by the way?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, the angle never changed, so I just wasn't sure. So, you know, just in terms of the work rate or, the entertainment of it, he's an entertainer. I mean, he's, for what he does for his podcast, what he does for, videos and making content for YouTube. I mean, a lot of that is just, playing to the camera, making people buy into what you're showing them. And so if anything, all it is shown is that if you learn how to sell and how to register and how to make people believe that you're in there actually going through a true fight, then who cares if you know every hold in the book? Who cares if you know all the timing of everything? He let a lot of things breathe. He wasn't moving 100 miles an hour, which made the match even more enjoyable.
Ted, for somebody who comes from the old school, do you think him training with Shawn Michaels had something to do with his timing in the ring?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Just like Bobby was saying, I heard on another podcast today about that was, does this expose the Performance Center and some of these that have been in NXT, been called up and have been there 5, 6, 7 years and still aren't getting over? And what's the difference? Because they're learning holds, but how come, is it just because they don't have an entertainment background, but they're good athletes? I mean, I don't know, but that was an interesting question to me.
Because these people that they're bringing in, it's not fair to really compare them because these people are over 1 million times fucking over when they bring these guys in. So they got half the battle already done and under their belt. All they have to do is to make it look halfway realistic in the ring and not hurt somebody or kill themselves. That's why I don't really, that argument, I throw that out the window because a lot of times these guys at the Performance Center, they are kids and they are 19, 20 years old. And it takes a while to learn to be good at this business. But like Bama said, you bring in a guy like Logan Paul, he already has the entertainment factor locked the fuck in. But he has maybe the number one podcast in the world. So the part that the most important part in wrestling, he already has that locked down and knows what to do. So the moves part, that's easy. I mean, not easy, but it's easy
let me finish
to register.
But let me go back a little bit. But some of these people that have just been in the Performance Center, you have the exceptions, like a Charlotte Flair or some of them that was raised in it. But the NXT Black and Gold, that all those people got over were wrestling on the indies, Ring of Honor, all that. You've got people from AEW that were wrestling on the indies and stuff. So I'm just saying, like, some of this new crop that may have just come in and been particularly performance center people.
Right.
What is the holdup with some of them compared to NXT Black and
That's
Gold?
what I'm agreeing with. I'm saying, like, these guys come performing in front of crowds and stuff already, and they know what to do in front of a crowd. Like, I totally agree with you. Like, it's the old territory thing. Like, you got to jump to different territories, learn different things, and learn from different people. When you're just stuck at the performance center with the same coach, same 2 or 3 coaches. Like, no, I agree with what you're saying. And yeah, it's like I said, these guys come in already been in front of millions of people.
Yeah.
Should we get rid of the performance center and maybe do something different? I guess is where I'm going to.
It's different. I think it's with the performance center, like they're planting the performers at the performance center in the crowd. So they're they're giving guys false cheers. Like they're putting them over falsely for TV. And then they get to the big card and they can't do it. There's not, like, is there going to be another Kurt Angle? Like a guy that has the athletic ability, didn't have the charisma, but all of a sudden he just developed it. Like, it just went boom. Like, that's what they need to look for and they need to find. And they're not finding that. They're finding either good athletes or good, then they're going to the celebrity pool to find the guys that are actually over. But how long are they going to be able to keep the celebrity pool, and how much money are they spending versus finding a gem like a Kurt Angle? That's
I want to jump in here and because everyone has great points. Like I do agree with like a lot of you guys about what you were saying, but I do want to bring over this perspective. When it comes to like celebrities like Logan Paul and Bad Bunny, they have that respect for this business because it is kind of hard to do the moves and stuff. But the reason why they're like so smooth with it is because they don't overthink it and they're not like shy. They don't have that fear. So like sometimes it's not everybody in the performance center of like who they pick up, but sometimes when you're there 24/7 doing the same things over and over, sometimes your brain goes into overdrive mode and you're like, I could do this a million times, and then all of a sudden like you get like those couple of days during training where you're like fucking up and messing up, and then when it's time to go to TV and we're watching NXT, sometimes that just comes through, and that's something that they have to get over. And I think that like if they didn't have all that in their head, they'll be a lot more smoother, they'll be a lot more over, they'll be more in their like character, because sometimes you can see that WWE is like, all right, we don't think that you are able to be like your own character just yet, so play this, and they're not comfortable playing that just yet. As like celebrities that come in who already have that built in, I'm ready to do this character, which is like me, it's fine. So it just comes across differently because of how like people think. And I only say that from my experience of like trying to learn wrestling in a wrestling ring and me overthinking, and I'm like, nope, I can't have that. That's why like I never went the full route to like be a wrestler and shit. But like it's really difficult to like get in there and do it as they say to do it, but I just want to offer that perspective, even though everyone else here had like really good points.
No, it's a good point.
No, I think sometimes you practice too hard, and if you practice too hard, it becomes a routine. That's where you drop the ball. It's got to be a natural, just feel. Like as an amateur wrestler, like for the first 2 seasons, I was like, okay, well they do this and I do this and I do this and I do this, and I lost. And then once I realized it's not about the routine, it's about the feeling it's feeling it, and that's when I started.
A lot of it also you got to remember is these guys performing at the performance center, they're doing it for their coaches. They're sitting down with them and the agents working on, okay, here's the end result we want. Here's how you're going to get to it. Here's the spots you're going to do. What do you want to add to it? And then who's going to be the veteran in this match? Who's going to do most of the leading? Or are they both just going out there and doing a rehearsed choreographed routine in front of the people at the performance center? On top of that, the people that are there watching this, they're not the mainstream fans. These are fans that are willing to go through, 2 hours of waiting, getting on a bus and riding across Orlando Heat to get, or now, well, it's still hot down there right now, but to get into there and when a full-fledged heel like Rhea Ripley comes back down there, they're cheering her out the building, and it takes, Raquel Gonzalez, or it takes Roxanne, 15 minutes to finally start turning the crowd back towards her, because, they're so used to cheering for who they love, not necessarily for who's the heel or who's the baby face. which in the mainstream, that's what they would do. So that's why when you see a veteran come back down there who's done it for a while and who understands how to play to the crowd and not how to impress their coach, because that's what's happening. When they come back through that curtain in the back, they may are listening to what the fans were doing, but the biggest thing is, okay, Sean, how'd I do? Hey, Road Dogg, how'd I do? Hey, Molly Holly, how'd I do? And then they get on their phone and then they check Twitter. Hey, Twitter, how did I do? They're not listening for what does the crowd need to see or how do I get the crowd on my side?
Marie, let me ask you a question real quick. Do you think Marie, do you think if WWE handles the Performance Center a little bit better, and I'm going to throw a New Japan reference in here for you, do you think there's any chance of them getting the PC up to the New Japan dojo level? Because the dojo carries a prestige with it, with the young lions and everybody that comes through there to gain the rights to perform on the New Japan Pro Wrestling main roster. Do you think if they approached the PC Center or the Performance Center a little bit different, that it could have more of that New Japan dojo feel to it?
No, because we're stubborn and it's not going to work. We have way too much of a free thinking mind to understand the discipline that like it takes to be a young lion in that program. Like I've talked to, my wonderful New Japan wrestlers, my wonderful buddies, and they told me their experiences with the young lion dojo. And it's not like glamorous or anything, but it gets the job done. It makes you a better wrestler all around and you can understand your character. But like for us, we have our minds are way too free thinking. It's not gonna work. They could try, it's just not gonna work.
I think a big issue too with the PC is who are the guys teaching them? Like, Shawn Michaels was a main eventer. Road Dogg, he's a main eventer 0.2. If it wasn't for DX, he would have never been a main eventer.
Matt Bloom.
The things is like these guys that are training them, if they haven't made it to the main event of WrestleMania or made it to that, main event level, what are they teaching them? Like they're teaching them what they did and they got to a B level on, a show that had Steve Austin or The Rock or, so I think that's one of the things too is look at the coaches. Like you had Matt Bloom in there, right? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah, he's still there.
Matt Bloom was a B/C card performer his entire career, other than maybe his Japan stuff that I never saw.
But think about somebody like Norman Smiley, though. Norman Smiley was a hell of a trainer, but he was still only a mid-card guy on TV. But he's renowned worldwide. Raven, another example of that. Raven was one of those guys who was never super over in the main event feature outside of TNA and ECW. And he's another guy who's a renowned producer and, like when it comes to the mind behind the scenes for pro wrestling. So I don't feel like you don't necessarily have to be a world champ to know how to book and put on a great match.
I think you have to be, so David Arquette was a world champ. I'm not going to say David Arquette should be a trainer. Shawn Michaels was a world champ. He should be a trainer. Jack Swagger, a world champ, doesn't need to be a trainer.
Probably
now he might be
somewhere.
Good mentals, but how is he going to teach you to get over?
Well, why do you think they don't book him for seminars? I mean, not every person. And this isn't a knock to Swagger because he's a very nice guy and everything. But most wrestlers don't do the seminar thing because it's like me personally, I'm not sure what you can teach me that other people have already said in a way, so we have to look at that too, the whole seminar thing, like who's doing what, who's not doing what,
Yeah.
A lot of it also, guys, you got to remember is the stars that came out from NXT that have successfully gotten over from, granted, a lot of them did come off the indie scene, but they got to tour. They got to go on the road in Florida and along the southern parts of Alabama and Georgia even, and go over to NXT in Europe and go out to NXT San Jose. They got to go all over the country and experience what it's like to perform in front of a live crowd. This NXT crop, ever since the pandemic, their first outside major show was WrestleMania in Texas, when they finally got to go out and do it in front of another group of people that's not in the Performance Center. And like we just said, these Performance Center fans, they're smart fans that try to hijack the show.
Yeah.
They cheer for who they want to cheer for. They boo who they want to boo. And so if you're Roxanne going out there trying to get in the ring with Rhea, that's just a big example right now because I was so mad at that match because this little girl's trying to impress that crowd and get over and win as a babyface. And the entire match, she's fighting upstream because everybody wants Rhea to beat her because they love Rhea. How do you win in that environment? If you're on the road in Charlotte, North Carolina, in front of mainstream fans who want to come see you, they're going to be immediately behind her, and Roxanne can listen and go, okay, here's what I need to do here. This is what Sean was telling me. This is what Matt Bloom was telling me. But she can't do that in front of those fans. They can't learn.
Yeah, and that NXT crowd is a college crowd that go to that school. So are they giving them extra credit for going there? Like, why are they going? And again, there's plants in the audience because there's so many NXT tryout people out there. So they sit out there too. So, who knows how well crowd is? Like, are they telling them when to cheer and when not to? Like, this is a crowd that's built around a film school.
Yep.
One question about
compliment the way I dressed tonight.
I thank you for dressing up. I wore a baseball tee for you so that we would match, and then you had to one up me. Let me ask you guys a question.
But Bobby, MJF called. He wants his tie back.
Oh, Bobby can't afford Burberry. Let me ask you a question about the last woman standing match between Bayley and Bianca. With there only being 2 before that one, where do you guys think that ranks in the short history of last women standing matches?
I enjoyed it. That was a fun last woman standing match. And I think the more times that Bianca fights Bayley, Bianca gets more comfortable doing things that she's uncomfortable with. Because the first time they had the ladder match, like you could tell that was uncomfortable for Bianca. But the more times she gets in her reps, like I'm just like, yo, this is so golden. Like I love watching Bianca versus Bayley and like whatever they do. People might get tired of it, but like I enjoy it because I know it's gonna be something new, something different. It's gonna have that flair, that swag, that personality, and that's what matches are like missing, especially when it sometimes comes to like women matches. Like I totally get it. You guys want to do a headlock and a headlock takeover into a wrist lock into a hammer lock. That's great and everything, and I love to call all that shit, but I need some personality, some flair, so I could distinguish everybody from each other and not be like, oh, it's another women's match. Like that match, like really set the bar. Like it was really high. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I feel like women's matches don't get the story builds that the men's matches do, and this one feels like it actually has a proper story build.
One of the things Bobby likes to say when they use furniture is, did they use the ladder to tell a story? Or did the ladder tell the story? And I think they did a good job of bringing Bayley introducing the ladder and then them using the ladder throughout the match and then Bianca using the ladder for the finish, I think is like the perfect example. Bobby, you and I talked about it with, it was Triple H and The Rock at WrestleMania 10 for the IC title.
Right.
And we talked about how they used one ladder the entire match. Same as Razor and Shawn, not WrestleMania, not Triple H and The Rock. Razor and Shawn at WrestleMania 10, and then Triple H and The Rock at 13, I think, or whichever one it was. You know what I'm talking about, though, where they did a ladder match and they only used one ladder the entire time to tell the story. Bianca and Bayley did that this time in their match. They pulled the ladder out, used one ladder the whole time, and then finished with it. And I think that's a good example of storytelling in the middle of a match. Like the perfect example of it.
She's definitely growing on me as a performer. Like her matches are getting better. I'm caring more about her as a performer. But my one hang up, I guess, I'm so distracted by her hair. Like I just feel like that hair just needs to go. Like it's like that one trick pony with IRS, Mike Rotunda back in the 90s. When he had the tie, and when somebody finally grabbed the tie and started using that against him, then it was just like, okay, well, get rid of that weak link. And I just feel like that hair thing is just I don't know, that's the one thing that just like drives me like not wanting Bianca to win.
I think if she used it more like she did in the beginning, it would make more sense. Like when she like whipped the shit out of Sasha with it, like. She said once in a biography thing that like the rule is if anybody touches her hair, she can use it. Right. But she hasn't used her hair in quite a long time.
I think that's people
When
are
she goes
scared of it.
heel, she goes heel and uses it as a weapon and uses it to cheat, like she did in NXT. Then that's when she's going to get a lot of leeway out of it. And I mean, Will, you and I've said this forever. You want to get the ultimate heat in that company? I thought Becky was going to do it. She almost did. You want to get the ultimate heat in that company? You take out a pair of shears and you cut that braid off at the scalp. You're going to be the most hated woman in the company.
We talked about that on, I think it may have been your show, Bama, where we said that would be the biggest way for somebody to go would be to hack it off.
Yeah.
Becky Barber Lynch.
Becky the Barber Lynch. Allison, what's next on your list?
The 24/7 title is thrown near the trash and now has an end date on WWE.com. I feel like it should have ended with R-Truth and not Nikki throwing in the trash.
R-Truth went in the hospital bed having surgery. It may have.
Fair.
He said thanks for all the prayers and everything. I didn't know he was like having surgery today, so I was expecting him to like have the belt like broken.
Oh. He's having surgery because he messed up his quad doing that flip, and I was like, how, man? Like I don't understand. I don't understand the human body sometimes. But I mean,
50 years old, man.
Wait, what happened?
He's 51.
He's like in 50.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
still
I'm
wrestling?
50. I'm 51, and I could tear my quad just going to the bathroom. Okay, so you can have it. Believe me, trust me.
Well, I mean, the 24/7 title kind of ran its course. It was fun for the time being to have something like unpredictable and like stupid and funny and corny on TV. But Nikki Cross's husband was like, she never played basketball, so she missed the trash can. So we're gonna leave it at that.
Can't even hit a layup.
Yeah.
I think with them getting rid of the 24/7 title, I hope with Triple H at the helm, if they replace that title with another one from circulation, and I don't think they need to, but if they replace a title with another one in circulation, bring back the European title to be defended at NXT Europe, or bring back the hardcore title under the 24/7 rules, to where we could start getting some, TV 14 style street fights out in the parking lot and stuff.
Thanks for watching my show, Will.
I think the 24/7 and the hardcore belts are passe at this point. The European title I could definitely see coming back. Maybe since they're doing Crown Jewel so often, like is it a Middle Eastern title? Like with the tours over there.
The All Atlantic of what AEW wants, where the All Atlantic title is defended across multiple borders and multiple promotions. Could WWE do something like that with the European title, where it's NXT Europe, the main roster, and it goes all over the world and kind of bounces between all their brands as kind of their European title, but their version of the All Atlantic? Ted, you haven't really said much.
Do we just call it the world title then?
Well, that would make sense, sir. I've always suggested them breaking the titles back up and making a world's title. I still say they need a world's title and then the Universal Champion. Let Roman continue with the Universal title and have it for a million bazillion years because he's the best sports entertainer. But have a world's title for the working champions. Somebody like a Seth Rollins or a Mustafa Ali or a Cedric Alexander, somebody who's a fantastic worker but isn't going to Seth is an example. Seth's as big as Roman, but like somebody who's not going to be able to be on Roman's level character wise, but can make the difference in a ring work wise.
So that reminds me. So if you walk into a restroom as an American and you walk out of the restroom as an American, what are you when you're in the restroom? European.
Oh God, Bobby! I don't know why I expected anything else.
I knew it.
Started talking.
I knew it.
Thank you, guys. Show's over. Now as we close another episode.
Right. What are you gonna do with all these people that were in the 24/7 division?
They're not there now.
Room for them. You don't even put,
Let's say all what?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
They're probably all going to be in AEW pretty soon because as soon as WWE cuts them, Tony's going to buy them.
I mean, they could
If he can.
do what AEW did a trios title and chuck all those people there.
But
I
where
would
are
love
they
a
going to cut
trios
that TV
title.
time from if they're going to do trios titles? Because they've only
I
got.
have too many. Well, I mean, I have too many commercials.
Or get rid of all the dumb talk shows.
Or stop calling it a trios championship and call it a 6-man championship like it should be.
New Japan has that. People get confused when you say 6-man and they're like, "What is this? I don't understand what it means." I'm
Well,
like, "Oh my God,
AEW
guys.
has
It's
a trios tag team, and then Ring of Honor has a 6-man tag team.
It's a 6-man tag team.
Yeah,
Both companies owned by the same guy, 2 different names for the same title.
yeah.
Six
Figure
man's
that one out.
confusing.
I like 6-man tag. That's what I.
I'm so used to it by now. I'm just like, oh, 6-man. Oh, hey, House of Torture still got the 6-man tag team titles. They haven't done shit with it.
Well, that's because they've had it for like 90,000 days now, though.
Man,
That's Evil's group, right?
Yes.
Well, let me ask you a question.
And they're both. What?
Let me. How was Battle Autumn? Well, I have you on this show because it was this weekend as well.
Amazing.
Just give the quick,
Amazing.
the 60-second Marie Shadow rundown of what you thought about the card, because you're probably the only other person in the room besides me who watched it.
So, Ospreay versus Naito, that is a masterclass main event thing. And then you have to stay for like after the event and see like who attacked them, because everyone always attacks Ospreay for some odd reason. We had a nice tag team match with Okada and Tama teaming up to take on Jay and Kenta. That was really nice, especially the nice little ending where like Jay's walking away and he's singing Tama's theme song, and I'm like, you guys are like the best of friends in this, man. Aussie Open was really good on the card, teaming up with Hinare. FTR was there too, battling Jeff Cobb and Great Khan. That match was like halfway boring to me, and then Jeff Cobb got injured. So now for World Tag League, we have Hinare and Great Khan for World Tag League rather than Jeff Khan and the Great Khan. And I think I'm probably missing some other stuff too. But overall, like, people go out of your way to watch Battle Autumn.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Madison Assembly.
Oh shit.
Good morning, everyone.
I got
Yeah,
my
man.
track over here.
It's not even morning. Are you in the future,
Dave is
Bama?
from
No.
the future.
No.
Right.
I'm editing a video for our church that my wife just did a voiceover for.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I was like, man, you're in the future. Everyone's in the future. But yeah, guys, go out of your way to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle Autumn. That thing was amazing.
How'd Chase do?
He's not there. he's gonna be a World Tag League, and I have to like freaking review his matches and shit. And I'm like, fuck.
Who's he wrestling with in Tag League?
Fale.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I
Yeah.
guess. The whole Bullet Club
Yeah.
thing.
I feel like you should
Yeah.
tell one of Bobby's stories about him in your review.
Anytime I bring him up, I bring up the fact that he owes Botch Spots and Chair Shots money because he owes Bobby money.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
That's great.
We should get his ex-girlfriend on here one day. Ashley Hope. That's her wrestling name, not her. Not
I was
her.
going to say, please don't dock somebody and drop somebody's real name on this show, Bobby
No.
Mack.
That's her kayfabe.
Allison,
my
what's
God,
next on
dude.
your list?
Yeah.
Chris Jericho was on the Masked Singer.
Or was
That-
he?
Proven yet?
Yes.
Bobby over here playing kayfabe. It wasn't proven yet.
Okay.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
Until the mask comes off.
Yeah.
Didn't he get a mask?
I've got a theory. I don't think it's Jericho.
Who do you think it is?
Oh, so who do you think it is?
It's going to be Sting.
It's going to be Shane?
Sting?
Sting?
Sting.
It's not Sting, dude. Like, Sting has a better voice.
And there's
I would
gonna
think
be a
so.
Sting mask. There's going to be a Sting mask. Tony Schiavone's going to be a special judge, and he's going to yell, "It's Sting!"
I hope that's the case.
All right, see.
I hope
All right,
that's
see.
the
I
case.
was thinking of the singer Sting. You know, I was like, yeah,
Breath
I was
you
thinking that.
No,
The police.
Sting.
Every
No, not the
move
police,
you
Sting.
make.
I
No
was
matter-
like,
The Stalker
the other,
song.
No matter what,
Oh
it's
my
gonna be the
God.
crowd goes silent.
The funny
The
thing
crowd
is,
don't-
whoever's in the costume, if you haven't seen it, it's a pink dragon in a wedding
unicorn
dress.
type of thing.
Yeah, in a wedding
Yeah.
dress,
It's
like
a bridezilla.
a bridezilla.
In a wedding dress.
Bridezilla.
Bridezilla.
Ted, how would you be the one to know that's what that is?
He's
Ted-
51.
Ted watches.
He has
nothing.
experiences.
That's right. I know a lot.
Ted's an
Yeah, he has
avid masked
experiences.
the Masked Singer watcher. That's what he does if he's not watching wrestling. Ted's watching the Masked Singer.
Fair.
What's
I mean,
next?
it's Jericho singing. Yeah.
Adam's. I can't talk. Adam Cole's future possibly unclear in AEW. He's not even being talked about right now in creative.
He's having too much fun on Twitch. Like, let him be. I'm
Yeah,
done
but
at this point.
I say the party on Up Up Down Down is getting a reunion soon with him, Cesaro, Breeze, and Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
And Miss Katie Kinsey joins the chat tonight. Katie, how are you?
Hello.
Welcome to episode of 100.
Hi.
We're literally just
I'm
kind of
good.
hanging out. We're talking about wrestling.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. Crazy.
Surprise.
Never would have guessed.
Where were we? Allison, are you next? Are we saying another one off your list?
Oh yeah, we can. We're talking about possibly Jericho. Oh no, Katie will have something to say about this.
Oh, yes, she
Adam
will.
Cole's future potentially unclear with AEW.
See, I really just want him to come back and be a part of the kingdom and just kind of take over that because it would make the most sense. Since
He's sitting right next to you. Ask him.
No, we don't ask him. He's fine. No, I think that's if he comes back to AEW, which wherever he goes, I will follow because Adam Cole is one of my favorite people.
Can you
If he
sing
does
that
come back,
from Sister Act right now? I will follow. You know.
Oh.
I will not sing on camera.
I'm scared though. Every time I see Adam, like Cole, like I'm scared like one of those toothpick arms are gonna break when he's out there. Jeez, like he's
Brother's
lost
got
so much.
bigger arms than you, Bobby.
Yes, Katie.
I would challenge that one.
You're going to challenge Adam Cole?
I would challenge
I'd
arm
love
size.
to see that.
Do you think you could beat Adam Cole in an arm wrestling match, yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wow.
That's a ballsy statement, Bobby Mack.
I'm gonna
Everybody,
tweet
He
that.
said-
at Adam Cole right now, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tweet it.
Call him up. Call him up. We'll put it together.
Word.
I'm going to agree with Katie. I think he needs to join the kingdom. I think that makes a lot of sense right now with the elite still being up in the air and still being undecided on what they're doing or when they're coming back. I think that
Whoa. Did you not watch Dynamite?
last night,
Yeah.
yeah,
The elite are coming back at full gear. Did you not see the vignette? There was all the cogs in the gears in the back when they were showing all their stuff from past history.
Ted is super happy.
wow.
They're coming back.
I guess
at
I
full
missed
gear.
that altogether. How did I miss
Yes,
that?
they're coming back.
It was
I don't
like
know.
30 seconds. 30 seconds I get flashed on there because I missed it too.
I bet I was.
I had to watch,
smoking.
like, the replay
I
on-
guarantee you, I was probably smoking. Like if it was a vignette and a commercial, anything.
Yeah,
I
it
probably,
just showed up. It showed some PWG. It showed some childhood photos of them again. And then the whole time in the back were gears and cogs. And then there was a clock ticking and it was like striking midnight. So they're either coming back to full gear or they're joining Karrion Kross. It's one of the other.
Guarantee it's not that one.
one of the two is going down.
Right?
Okay, well, I stand corrected then. Fine, Ted, they're coming back at full gear. Once again, I did not expect you to be the one to have that information.
I mean, he has an FTR tattoo. What do you expect?
True.
Yeah.
Number 3 tag team.
FTR.
Behind Buster.
Yeah.
And like,
No, number 1 and 1A, which switches depending upon what day of the week it is the Midnight Express and Arn and Tully.
Oh, you mean like all time?
Oh, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew or the Brainbusters?
Well,
rock and roll.
I'm more. I mean, I like the original, but man, Tully's just got a special place in my heart, so I go with Arn and Tully.
Okay.
Where's Rock and Roll Express on that list?
They're a little bit further down because I prefer heels, even though FTR now is a face. But I really fell in love with them when they were heels.
Okay, Marie, Katie, Dave, y'all chime in. Who do you think is the number 1 tag team of all time then?
All time?
Yeah.
I don't like all time. You put me on the spot, but the first thing I wanted to say was the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama and Loa.
I say most decorated all time are the Dudley Boys, but I'm not going to put them number 1.
New Day.
You think
Final
New
answer.
Day's the number 1 all time?
Yeah.
That's a good pick. No, I'm not at all taking anything away from it.
You can't put me on the spot like this, Will. We've talked about this. I don't do well under pressure. You get the New Day.
Really tough question.
What is best tag team of all time?
Yeah.
Who do you think it is, Bobby? Are you going to go with like Midnight Express or Rock and Roll Express or somebody fucking corny like that? You get how I put that in there? You get how I did that?
Sir.
My top 4 is in no order: Midnight, Rock and Roll, Road Warriors, and Tully and Arn. I think Tully and Arn, if they weren't just exposed in WWE, WWF, the point, I think they would be number 1. But their run in WCW, NWA was kind of short in comparison. So I think if they would have had longevity of Rock and Roll and Midnight, they would be an easy number 1. But they call it the Ricky Morton sell and comeback like for a reason. So I'm going to put Rock and Roll.
Where do you guys put the Steiner brothers?
They're my favorite tag team of all time, but I'll put them at like number 2 or 3. I'm going to go Road Warriors number 1.
Legion of Doom would be my pick for sure.
You guys. Wait, what? What, Bobby?
I say Steiner's top 10.
Yeah, I'd probably put Steiner's top 5 for me for sure.
I'd put him in my top 10.
You ready? You got another one off your list?
Yeah. Saraya has been cleared, but is limited to how often she can wrestle. Doctors have only cleared her for 1 match per month.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that extra part.
It's not that shocking, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that it's weird to like hear that. So I was like, oh, the little extra tidbit,
MJF doesn't wrestle more than once a month.
Because he doesn't have to.
Yeah. MJF's going to be in a month.
But again, let's go back to the context, because I actually listened to the interview with Renee Paquette today, and Saraya said the doctor told her, let's start out
it's a for now.
And maybe once a month. So I can see that probably with her ring rust, everything else, ease her back into it. Let's see what happens. And she also said that she was fine taking bumps, but like a PTSD thing, right now she does not want to be hit from behind where she can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
I just want her to be safe.
Yeah, Arn Anderson used to say that he thinks the injuries happen now because they don't work as much as they used to. And you kind of build up calluses to bumps and, all that kind of stuff. And now they don't build up those calluses. That's why they get injured so much, like more often. I'd be really worried about Saraya at this point. Like AEW has a history of people getting injured in the ring. And that's my biggest fear is how professional are the people she's in there with, and can they protect her? And I know her last injury was in WWE, but again, that was a fluke injury, and I know that can happen anytime. But I really worry about her being in AEW.
Well, she's gonna be with Britt, who's pretty safe in the ring.
I was gonna say, if I'm gonna pick anybody on that roster to be my first match back, it's Britt Baker.
Yeah, because I don't think Britt's had any injuries, and I don't think there have been any injuries caused by her.
Yeah.
Well, she's had her nose broken twice in the ring.
Well,
but she hasn't to our
Yeah,
knowledge,
yeah.
she hasn't caused any injuries to people.
No, she's very
been hurt
safe.
quite a few times.
I mean, I feel like breaking your nose is pretty par for the course, but she hasn't had anything serious.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I know she got concussed and broke her nose. That off the top of my head, that's all I know.
I mean, if you don't have one of the things, are you a wrestler?
Oh, I'm not saying that at all. But yeah, it's one of those are the most common things you really get. I mean, at first everyone assumed Adam Cole had a concussion. It could be something worse or more extreme, but we're very much kept in the dark about that. So
yeah, for sure.
I have a question for you guys. I saw today on TikTok on Mick Foley's Foley Pod that he was ultimately pleading for Jim Cornette to come on board with AEW. He had this big spiel about how he knows Corny doesn't like AEW. He knows that he doesn't like the company, but he was ultimately saying that Jim Cornette is one of the last wealth of knowledge from a generation of wrestling that's going to die off in the next generation to 2 generations. And he's just saying, get in there, be a wealth of knowledge for the locker room, go back somewhere where you can thrive, give them a couple of years, mentor some guys, book some matches. Do you guys ever think there's a shot Jim Cornette comes back to wrestling?
No. One, he doesn't travel. 2, he hates the Bucks and Omega. I think he'd be positive for AEW. I really do. But he wouldn't. Cornette is so hard-headed on what he believes, and I don't feel like, again, the elite would last under him, because he would tell them, hey, you know what? This is bullshit. You guys need to stop doing this. Pockets. Like, I know him as Pockets more than I know his real name anymore. Because Cornette is such an influence. I think Cornette can only do positive things. But I'm really hoping that Jarrett can do a positive influence with these guys. And I think for Jarrett to have a positive influence, kind of turn the question around a little bit, he needs to get it off TV. Because Cornette, I don't think needs to be a TV character. He just needs to be behind the scenes and direct traffic. And I think Jarrett needs to focus on that more than this whole, I'm 50 years old, no offense, Ted, and I'm back and hitting guys with guitars.
Here's the problem. They need a heel on AEW because everybody loves everybody. That's what he's trying to be, is an actual heel.
Fair.
Yeah, and I give him credit for it, but I think he needs to, our earlier conversation with the Performance Center, we know you can do it. We know JBL can do it. We know that Jarrett can do it. But go behind the scenes and coach it and make somebody else be able to do it. Because we can look at the footage 20 years ago and study and understand, but if you can't coach them to do it, then you don't need to be there.
Well, I actually did a whole episode this week on Jeff Jarrett and AEW and how he can be used on screen. And would y'all like to hear what I got a little bit about that?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, man.
Okay, then go on Spotify or Apple, click on the Heel Truth or on the Smack Raw, and you can get the whole thing in about 30 minutes. Leave a 5-star review.
Ted, I love you so much.
That's the full plug, you heel.
You're the perfect
I
heel.
learned so much. Yeah, I learned so much. That was great. I would say that me personally, I would ask Jim Cornette about advice here and there, for coaching wise, rather than having him be on an on-screen persona. And I do understand why people have a problem with him. I totally get it. I really do. But he does still have some nuggets of advice and good ideas and stuff like that. Even if you hear a bunch of bullshit that comes out of his mouth, there's still some golden nuggets in there. But I don't think AEW needs him at all because they got Jarrett. I trust Jarrett enough to have that positive influence in the backstage, and also be that sort of firm hand to be look, you got to tell them when this is bad, when that's bad, and then try to redo it with a different perspective. So I think AEW is okay for now to have Jarrett. They don't need Cornette too as well. if it ever happened.
What do you guys think about Mia Yim joining the OC?
Yeah.
Just kind of.
I'm glad to see her back on TV in WWE where the whole world can see her. But yeah.
What do you think about the build for the intergender match? Katie, you and I have had an episode on the docket for months now for this exact topic, but finally looking like WWE is going to pull the trigger for the first time since 2019 on an intergender match. How are you guys excited about it? Like, where's your excitement level?
Good. Do it. Let Rhea fight the men. Holy shit. That's all I've been wanting.
Yes.
Well, I'm waiting. You tell me a time and day and we'll go back and forth all day on this. But this is, I said at first, like back in NXT, maybe like when Legado and like Hit Row were feuding, put them, all of them in a War Games match, like intergender style. You can do the same thing with this. You can have the OC and Mia Yim and you can have Judgment Day in a War Games match. Like, that's the kind of stuff you could do, but they're not gonna do because they hate me. And that's what I want to see. But that's something that would be very entertaining. You could do it, but they won't. I think having intergender stuff now, yeah, hell yeah. Why not? Do it.
Do it.
I think in 2022 we could get away with it. It wouldn't have any problem. Unless somebody can correct me, 2019 Extreme Rules, it was the winner take all match between Lacey Evans and Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins and Becky was the last time they had a true intergender where Lacey Evans attacked Seth and Becky was attacking Corbin. There wasn't a whole lot of the reverse roles of that, but we got to see the two genders go at it. But I'm pretty excited about it, the idea of seeing it. I like the idea of Rhea is on a short list with Charlotte and a few others that I say aren't great women wrestlers. They're just great wrestlers. They wrestle as well as some of the boys in the locker room. So I don't feel like there's any reason when they're in wrestling school, they have to wrestle the guys. You know what I mean? When they're training and they're coming up, they're wrestling the boys. Why not let them do it on TV? Especially somebody like Rhea, who we know can perform and we know can do it well and safely.
It's not like kayfabe is alive, so we know when the guy's punching the woman, it's not real. So that's where it needs to be. Like, hey, you know what? This is sports entertainment. Like, we watch movies where Cyclops or one of the X-Men punches a female. This is pro wrestling at this point. Like, this is sports entertainment. So we need to get over the fact, like, it's less believable now than like when China was in there or, back in the day, like when a woman got hit. So, if you're going to have an intergender match, it can't just be the woman beating up the man. It's got to be equal in both parts. And I think the closest I think we've come in a long time is when Nia Jax was in the Royal Rumble and she got beat up by all the guys and got thrown out. So, yeah, it's time to bring it back. Like, we understand this is kayfabe. Like, they're not really getting beat up, and it's acting to a point. So, make it equal.
You also have to tell the advertisers to stop their bullshit, because that's the only reason why WWE has not fully went through with like an actual intergender match where like both sexes are like fighting each other and stuff like that. We see more of a progress of this type of wrestling style. I was gonna say fighting style. This wrestling style on the indies where like, it's very enjoyable. It is, because we're watching two wrestlers wrestle to be the best person in the night for that event. It's not like it's going to be promoting anything. Like, us as wrestling fans, we know that it's to prove who's the best. Like in any other like sport or gladiator sport, you want to prove who's the best. Like, it doesn't matter. They're like wrestlers and stuff, but advertisers got to get off their high horses. And I understand that money is everything that makes the world go around, but enjoy it too. Enjoy the entertainment. As long as no one gets hurt, like intentionally gets hurt, we'll be okay.
Miss Eagle, what's next on your list?
The next thing on my list is Grimes to the main roster.
How excited are we for Cameron Grimes stepping up?
About freaking time. That's what I want to say.
Yeah? I'm a Cameron Grimes
I
guy. I
really-
can't disagree. I think he's ready for it.
He
I like
gets
him.
the stuff we talked about earlier that Logan Paul just does naturally. Cameron Grimes' character work is flawless. Heel or babyface, you care about this guy. So I'm looking very much forward to watching what kind of character he's going to be. He'll probably debut maybe more to what he was a couple of years ago. Was that wily North Carolina Southern heel? You know, that I would love to see the top hat come back. But if they want to keep the money guy, I mean, because the new song is awesome. So if they want to keep the money guy going, the cryptocurrency, all that stuff, then that's fine. But again, the dude can sell, the dude can register. He's got a great move set. He's got a great character. He makes you care, heel or babyface. He'll succeed. And now with Triple H behind him, he'll definitely succeed.
Bobby, how do you feel about Cameron Grimes?
I like him. Like he's like definitely that hardy group. Like he's from the same part of town. He was trained under them, from what I understand. Different generation from them. He's a great indie guy. Like I met him, I think twice. He's a guy that loves the business, and I think his character is part of him. I'd like to see him as a crypto character, but now realizing that crypto is kind of falling off, and see where he's at now. Like now, I'm just kind of middle of the road. I don't have all that money anymore, so I don't know. Cameron's a great performer in the ring, and I think he's a good talk on the mic. So yeah, bring him up. Just don't lose him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my last thing that I have is Sasha and Naomi have been added back to the title sequence. And they're back listed on the roster, but still not in the shop.
I don't know anymore, man.
I
don't know anymore.
You just don't outright. You just don't care at all.
No, I don't care. Naomi to me was never really over. Like the glow thing and all that other stuff. Like she rode on Sasha's coattails, and now Sasha to me. I want to see her in the next Mandalorians because her character is pretty cool. But in the ring, I really don't care. If she comes back, she comes back. If not, I feel like Drago. If she dies, she dies. Like,
Sir. Sir.
Man.
Sir. I get it. I know I get it. I get it. But sir.
I'm a big Sasha fan. I think she's a star anywhere she goes. Whatever she does, she'll be big, whether it be on TV or in a wrestling ring. I think that she still has enough miles on the tires to go. So I hope she comes back to wrestling. That's kind of my 2 cents on it. I just hope she comes back. Katie, do you have opinion on Sasha and Naomi?
I would like to very much disagree with Bobby saying that Naomi wasn't over.
Thank you, Katie.
1,000% was. She was one of the most talented people, not women, people on that roster. Her pop at the Rumble when she came back, everything she has done, she has been the underdog and has to push for it. Her being with Sasha was good. It made sense. It was a perfect teaming.
Mm-hmm.
Them both leaving, understandable. I would be sick of the shit too. I would love to have Naomi, Trinity, whatever you like to call her, back. I love Naomi. She is one of those. She was, before Bianca was doing her thing, that was Naomi. Like, Bianca's one of the most talented people on the roster, hands down. That was Naomi. Like, do you see what I'm saying here? That is a talent you don't want to get rid of, and WWE is going to do their damnedest to bring her back. Both of them. I don't like Sasha as much, but I will never deny the fact that she is fantastic in the ring. She has busted her ass. The whole back and forth thing with Charlotte, whatever. But both of those women busted their ass for years and did prove that, yeah, they were a very vital point in the women's division in WWE. And without them, you can kind of see things. It's another 6-pack challenge on SmackDown with the same 6 women.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What does that tell you?
Yep.
So I will very nicely disagree with Bobby.
you don't have to do it nicely.
Oh, this is Will's show. I won't do it rudely.
No, you can be rude.
This
Be
is the
rude.
100th show. This is the 100th show. Well, Bobby's fucking full of shit. That's what I'm basically trying to say.
Be rude, Katie. It's fine.
I don't understand why people continue to say that Naomi wasn't over or wasn't good. The Glow, they should have capitalized on that and made a Glow title. They made a fucking Fiend title, and that was weird and creepy. I love the Fiend, love Bray, but that title, no. You could have had a Glow title. You could have made money off of that. You could have utilized Naomi to the highest degree you could. They chose not to. That's 1,000% on them. They have been treating her kind of like shit for the majority of her career. So her walking, I don't really blame her. Again, so Bobby, you're fucking wrong.
That Glow belt would sell at least 10 of them, I'm sure. So at least
Are you fucking kidding me?
Bobby.
Dude.
Not at all. Like, I totally don't, like, I've never got Naomi, like, since she was
See, that's the thing. You haven't. That doesn't mean no one else has. That's just you. That was one opinion. That's one opinion of a middle-aged man, as opposed to the millions of little girls she inspired.
Agreed,
I thought
Katie.
No.
No, Bobby. Not even a little bit.
Is that why the rated Y happens?
This is why you have a disclaimer on every episode, is because you... What's the old phrase? You speak out of both sides of your mouth?
I 100% agree with Katie. I freaking love Naomi. Mm-hmm. I would have bought the absolute shit out of that Glow title.
That's
100%.
Bobby, if you don't shut the fuck up.
We're going to need you, Bobby.
Thank you for this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go back 6 months ago, watch Naomi's match with Charlotte. The entire room was blowing the roof off for her to win that title. People cared about Naomi.
People still care about Naomi.
Kai says Bobby sure understands what little girls would want and think is cool. I think
exactly what I'm saying. Like, Bobby's a white middle-aged man who doesn't. That's not the demographic she was going for in any way, shape, or form. So Bobby doesn't have to understand Naomi. The little girls and the people who looked up to Naomi for her entire career, that was her target audience. Wardlow got the women demographic. You see what I'm saying here? The demographics work for certain people. Bobby is not in Naomi's demographic. Point blank, period. Ergo, he's not gonna understand her and not fucking care what she does.
Well, I'm glad to be back in Katie Kinsey's demographic, and you don't hate me anymore. That's all I've got to say. I'm glad you don't hate me anymore, Katie.
I got two things. First, Katie, I've heard you on SmackDown before. Nice to be on the same thing with you. Please quit saying white middle-aged men don't understand stuff.
Not you, Ted. Bobby.
I know, but when you say white middle-aged man, that's me. Okay, I'm white. Okay. Here's the thing. I think both of them are great, but here's what I worry about. How are they going to be booked when they come back? Because we talked earlier about Bayley and Bianca, and to be honest with you, that was a great last standing match, but the damage control is, to me, sucked, because as heels, if you come in as a heel faction, you should dominate. And with Bayley taking all these losses, the other girls getting the tag team belts, all this is set up. This story is not about Bayley and Bianca. This story is about Bayley losing and her two partners turning on her before that act really got hot, besides the opening time when they first all three showed back up. Mm-hmm. So after that, where does it go? What will they do with Sasha and Naomi? Will they keep them a tag team? Will one of them turn on the other? That's what I worry about. I want to see them back, but are they going to be booked properly? That's what I worry about, because yes, there are some great things going on in the women's division, but then there's also a lot of misses that Papa H hadn't got right yet.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and Naomi's a 34-year-old woman, so she is middle-aged as well. And the whole tag team was the whole tag team.
Bobby.
You're gonna get this show canceled, dude.
Yes, the whole tag team was awesome. It's been less than a year that they've been a tag team. Like and the majority of the time they won the belts, but then it was all of a sudden they were gone. So this whole year-long run that they've had together, how often did they actually perform together? Like, how long was this tag team actually relevant?
It wasn't a year.
The entire time they were a tag team? I'm confused.
So 2 months?
Do you watch wrestling, Bobby? You do realize wrestling continued to happen after 1986, right? You know that's a thing.
So I'm looking up like when they started tag teaming
Oh my
together,
God.
like very, very long.
Right, because they said "fuck you" to Vince and quit.
And Johnny Ace, don't forget. They said "fuck you, Johnny Ace" real hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said it with their whole chest.
Yeah, they did.
Well, yes.
See, with bass in their voice. They said, fuck you.
Yeah, they did.
Fuck you. Kyle says this has been a fun show. I need to do more open mic nights. I might make this a regular segment where I just send the link out to random groups, and as the episode goes, people come in and out all night. I think this is a great idea.
I love how KY says that me and RN get along with all this stuff.
He hates now.
You do. You and RN, surprisingly, and you and Ritter, there's been more than one point in the chat where Matt's been mad at the fact that he's agreed with you. He hates it every time it happens. He's like, why am I agreeing with Bobby? Why does it happen?
Bobby,
Very weird.
If you ever say 34 is middle-aged again, I will fucking fly to Texas
Get him, Alison.
and beat the ever-living shit out of you.
Fuck him up.
I'll
I
sell
love
tickets
you,
to that.
but I will beat that ass.
I would pay to see Alison beat the shit out of Bobby. She could take him.
We should make that a video.
We should make it.
I'm not even touching that one with a nothing.
Oh, but
Okay.
if you do, put it behind the pay window on the Smack Raw Patreon. Check it out. I have exclusive audio over there.
5-star reviews for everybody.
Uh,
Okay, this is my favorite part of the episode because we're just going to plug our stuff and we're going to get ready to go home. I don't know how to do this because it's not usually like my normal screen, so I'm going to go ladies first. Katie, go ahead and plug your stuff first, then Marie, then Allison.
Okay. You can follow me on Twitter at KatieRasslin13, link to my Vodka All Things Cheerlead Showcase, twitch.tv/Cheerlead Showcase, typically Thursday, 6 p.m. ish Eastern, youtube.com/Cheerlead Showcase. I say watch the videos because they're way more entertaining. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts if you'd like to listen. She leads the brand. It's the weekly show Savannah and I do. Inside the Mind of an interview series I do. Will's been on it, even though he thinks I hate him. A new one will be dropping Monday. I did one with RN that'll be coming out in like 2 weeks. In the Crowd is making a return next week. I just did another series because I do too many, a YouTube exclusive story time thing, and then my co-host has 2 shows as well. We're busy women, so that's everything.
Killing it.
Thank you.
cool.
Miss Marie?
Oh, what's up, Bama? I don't know if you wanted to say something.
No, I was just saying she nailed it.
Okay, cool,
Thank
cool. She did, yeah. All right, so this was fun. Happy 100 episode to you guys. It's been a blast to know you guys and celebrate with you guys 100 episodes. So I am Marie Shadows. You can follow me on Twitter at Marie_Shadows. You can also follow my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Marie_Shadows, where on Wednesday, November 16th, I will be having Robbie Eagles on to interview him about New Japan Pro Wrestling, Tamashii, the brand new brand that they have, and the show that they have this weekend. So that's going to be fun. So tune in for that on twitch.tv/Marie_Shadows. And last but not least, I do have a Substack newsletter where there's more wrestling content on there. I just did 2 articles about World Tag League and Super Junior Tag League as well. So check those out at marieshadows.substack.com.
Oh, it's my turn. You can follow me on tweeters and the TikTokies at justagirl918. We will be doing a new heel support group comic this week, so it should be pretty funny. Follow my shit so I can get 1,000 followers on TikTok so I can go live and beat Bobby's ass.
Bama.
Well, once again, happy 100 episodes to the Botched Spots and Chair Shots podcast. Incredible job you guys do putting out the content you put out. Everybody out there, you can follow me on Twitter at BammerChatter. You can go to my Twitch, twitch.tv/BammerChatter. We're going to be going live here in a couple of weeks when we preview Survivor Series with a Check Your Temperature live next Friday. You can also catch me when I do my spaces on Twitter. All in audio form. We're going to bring a few people together next Friday to preview Full Gear. So that'll be fun to do that with a few friends and come in and hop in the chat. And if you want to watch the replays of all my stuff, you can go to my YouTube channel. Just type in Bammer Chatter Wrestling Podcast, and my channel will come up. I got 2 videos on there right now. Every time we go live on Twitch, that video will then go on YouTube as soon as possible after that. Again, Will, Bobby, Allison, everybody that's been on here, you guys are great. Big family we got. And even though I love all of you as family, some of you, I don't always like to see you at reunions, but you're still cool.
Oh, my God.
Ted, you're up.
Ted the Hillbilly Hill on Twitter at Hillbilly Hill. That's it. I don't do anything else. There's an imposter of me on Pinterest putting up recipes and home decor, but it's not me.
Wow.
You can find the Hill Truth wherever you get your audio listening pleasure. Also part of the Smack Raw channel. And like I said, they've got YouTube, they've got Twitch. We just put stuff out. I do some exclusive for the Smack Raw Patreon, which I have 2 episodes up right now. One, the famous I Quit match, where I review it between Tully Blanchard and Magnum TA. And that is how you do an I Quit match. The gold standard. It also shows you how to take out an eyeball, unlike Seth and Ray. Then I also did the last battle of Atlanta between Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer and Tommy Wildfire Rich. And that cage match had a top on it and was Shawn Michaels' inspiration for pitching the idea of Hell in a Cell. So very historical information there. And I think that is about it. Again, anywhere you find your stuff, go to Apple, 5-star review. I do read out 5-star reviews on the air. It helps the algorithm, as I call it. And happy 100. And that's about it. Oh, we are #1 in Antarctica and currently trending on MySpace.
Bobby Mack, you're up.
Yeah, so I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go. It sounds like I might be involved in an intergender match with the ladies here on this podcast. But yeah, you can always follow Yellow Shoe Guy on Twitter, on Twitch, on TikTok, also in the metaverse. If you're ever on the Oculus, come to the metaverse and find the Yellow Shoe Guy. I'm always willing to talk, and not everybody's always willing to listen. If you go to my linked tree, you can also find my accounting page. Will, it's up to you.
Well, now as we close the 100th episode of Botched Spots and Chair Shots, I want to take a minute and change things up a bit. I, personally, as the host for the last 100 episodes that got us here, want to thank a myriad of people for a million different reasons. Alison, my best friend, my closest confidant in all things that are Will Gray and Botched Spots and Chair Shots. Bobby Mack, the road warrior hawk to the animal that I am. Matt Ritter, my personal Pornhub poppy, the warden of my heart, Daddy Vince Delgado, Katie Kinsey, baby, Marie Shadows, the yin to the yang, in the wrestling world. That is the wrestling journalism. Kyle and RN and Smacked Raw. Bama for being the support that he always has been. Just at Get Yo, Justin at Just in Time. Lee and the boys at Perch on the Top Rope. My favorite Hill, Ted the Hillbilly Hill. And everyone at World Elite. So literally, so many people. Literally anyone who watched a chef of 15 years get cancer, stop cooking, start writing, beat cancer, and then just had my back through all of it. Thank you. So we raise a toast to 100 episodes. Champagne for my real friends. Real pain for my sham friends. But as we close another episode of Botched Spots and Chair Shots, I want to take a minute. Thank you for listening. Remind you to go wherever you do anything on the internet. Like, follow, subscribe, unsubscribe, then subscribe again. Leave a comment telling me how great I am or how terrible we sound. Either way, it helps the algorithm. It helps find new listeners. If you're feeling really generous and be one of the VIP people, head over to patreon.com and donate to the Smacked Raw Podcast Network. You get some fantastic swag. We get some fantastic guests. It's a win-win. There's a big one tonight. For the Yellow Shoe Guy Bobby Mack. For BamaDave. For Ted the Hillbilly Hill. For Miss Katie Kinsey, baby. For Marie Shadows. For Kai. For RN. For BC Hunter. For everybody else who came in and said hi. For Matt Ritter. And, by the way, I have a special. You guys aren't going to be able to see this, but I have a special announcement from Mr. Ritter. It's a video I'm going to play right now. Let me get it up. It's for the 100th episode.
That's what she said.
It is 100% what she said.
Exactly.
Where'd it go?
That's what she said.
I can't find
Yeah,
it.
times two.
Times two. That's what she said. Times two. Oh, there it is. I'm like, now you can't hear it. I'm messing this all up, guys. This is live TV, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what he said.
Oh.
Watch this.
Of botched spots and chair shots. That's what we're here to celebrate. That's what we're here to
I'm gonna fix
congratulate
it
them
right
on.
now.
Because botched spots and chair shots isn't just Will Gray. Though Will did
That wasn't
record
right.
all 100 episodes in like 3 weeks because he's
There you
fucking
go.
insane.
I'm gonna stop.
You ready?
Hello, Will's people. And if you're watching this live on Botched Spots and Chair Shots or listening back on your favorite audio platform, you are most definitely Will Gray's people. I'm the host of the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub, the patron saint of podcasting, the word Matt Ritter, but that's not important. What's important is 100 episodes of Botched Spots and Chair Shots. That's what we're here to celebrate. That's what we're here to congratulate them on. Because Botched Spots and Chair Shots isn't just Will Gray. Though Will did record all 100 episodes in like 3 weeks because he's fucking insane. No, but for real, it's Alison, who is the boss bitch behind the scenes, who has made her transition on screen. Despite her terrible taste in pizza, I'm very proud of her for that. She's a fantastic person. She's doing great. The yellow shoe guy, Bobby's there too, doing yellow shoe things. So congrats, Bobby. Keep being you, I guess. No, for real, guys. Congrats on 100 episodes. It's a huge milestone. I'm very proud of you guys and happy I got to be a part of it. And I'm looking forward to my next monthly visit like I'm Will's, period. And on that note, have a good night. Enjoy the show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. There's the special message from Matt Ritter. You guys have no idea what he said, but I'll send y'all the video anyways. For everybody, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by and listening, my people.